So I know I've limited time. Let me jump right on in. I want to ask you at least one thing you haven't been asked. So what TV series would you love to guest write and direct?
Oh man, I can tell you right now, Money Heist. I'd have to speak Spanish. There's a lot of stuff I'd have to figure out. But that show, man, oh man, is it good. It's just I was shocked at how much I didn't know much about it. And I watched them all straight through.
Yeah, I know how popular it is, especially around the world.
Yeah, it's great.
Jumping into specifically your film, I want to start with congratulations, and sincerely. This had to have been a challenging edit because you're dealing with two different storylines in dramatically different situations. I'm curious, what did you learn from any early friends and family screenings that impacted the finished film?
Well, mostly you learn how to break it up a little bit more. At times you'll be weighted in one place and not in another. The other thing was we cut a bunch of scenes I actually liked, and they worked really well, but they just didn't further the story. And when you get into a film that's kind of a meditation, we're letting the music kind of carry us. You have to be judicious with the scenes, otherwise it feels really long and plodding. So you end up cutting scenes that you like a lot, but scenes that you also know don't further the story. So you learn that from friends and family screenings.
Can I ask how long was your first cut compared to the finished film?
2 hours and 20 was the first cut, and this one's under 2 hours. So,
One of the things that I find fascinating about Netflix is they have all this technology, but they rarely release any deleted scenes on Netflix. They really don't. And like for people that are going to enjoy this movie and want to see some of the scenes you're talking about, have you had any conversations about putting some of these deleted scenes?
No, I didn't know they didn't. The effects guys did a really funny bit that I hope will get released too, which is they take my character Matt Kowalski in Gravity, and I'm floating still in space, and then I float by Ether, the spaceship, and I'm like, little help, and I go by them, which is absolutely fantastic. So I didn't know they didn't. Hopefully they will.
Well, I mean, and by the way, if you don't release that on Netflix, maybe you put that out on like Instagram or something and let people, that's a good bit to promote the movie.
Well, I'm not on any of those things so that I don't get fired later in life,
Right. I completely understand. What do I need to do as someone who really loves you in front of the camera? What do I need to do to get you to act more?
Well, it's fun. It's been an interesting thing. I got twins and they're young, and I was doing a lot of that. And I've been working a lot with our foundation on chasing down some war criminals, and that's been exciting. I did Catch-22, which was a year and a half, and I did a small part in that. I'm always looking for something good to act in. I'm aging out, the things that I'm able to do now are different. That's fine. So I have to look for parts that excite me. And if I find a good part, I'll do it. I've read a couple of scripts that I like, and I'll probably find something to do at the end of this year that I'll go back and act in.
My last question for you. You've directed, I believe, 7 films, and I'm fascinated by the editing process because I don't think people realize how much a movie, like that's the final rewrite. And so I'm curious, with all the films you've directed, have any gone through any radical changes in the editing room that maybe you weren't expecting?
Well, Confessions, the first one I did, Steve Marioni and I remember I had 3 scenes that everything we did in that film was in camera, so there are no visual effects. So if you see Sam Rockwell on one side of the set and we move the camera across, he's on the other side of the set, he's run around and changed clothes, and and everything is done in camera. And I had 3 scenes that were spectacularly well done, and I showed it to Soderbergh, who hadn't seen the movie yet. And he goes, "The movie's great. I love it. You're going to cut those 3 scenes." And I was like, "You're stoned, dude. You're smoking like some kind of reefer. These are the 3 best scenes in the movie." And I think 3 months later, after testing and doing everything else, you realize they don't further the story. And it literally changed everything. And I had to, and I cut him out. It killed me. But he was right. He knows Steven's a wonderful editor, and he knew exactly what I should have cut out. But it took me a long time to come to terms with it.